Time now, as we do every week, Thursdays at 10:30, to talk the business of sports. None better. We're going to say we knew her when. The lovely, the talented, the passionate Kristi Dosh. Explain the logic of why you think the NBA isn't doing revenue sharing to the degree of other leagues and why you think it'll be a solution.
The NBA has so many problems. This was just sort of the problem I wanted to start with. And I'm concerned that they're not including this in the collective bargaining negotiations. The owners are saying that this is an owner deal and that they're going to work it out and it's going to be sort of in tandem with collective bargaining, but it's not going to be part of the collective bargaining agreement. That's not the case in the other major professional sports leagues. Revenue sharing is part of the collective bargaining agreement. And the NBA basically has no local revenue sharing. They share national TV revenue, which all the other leagues do as well, but they have nothing local. In the NFL, you've got sharing of gate receipts. The home team gets 60% and the visiting team gets 40%. Major League Baseball used to share gate receipts, and it differed in the American League versus the National League. But once they introduced a more comprehensive revenue sharing plan back in '97, they got rid of sharing gate receipts, and instead, in each of the collective bargaining agreements, they've had a formula that's a little bit different, but it results in them moving around over $400 million a year between teams.
That's MLB? That's MLB?
Yes, that is.
Okay.
Whereas the NBA is moving around somewhere between $45 and $60 million. There's teams in Major League Baseball who are receiving $45 million in 1 year all by themselves, and that's what we're dividing amongst all the NBA teams. I just think that's a root of a lot of their problems.
While fundamentally, I agree with you, David Stern needs to put it into the collective bargaining agreement. They need to find ways like the NFL and Major League Baseball have done it. I guess I agree with you. I just don't know how it's going to happen overnight. It leads me to believe they're going to miss a whole season when they start with something fundamentally as sound as that.
I think they're definitely going to miss a whole season. Like I said, this is one small problem. And I heard something really ridiculous the other day that I haven't had time to fully research. But I heard the NBA owners are asking players to share their endorsement money and to give some portion of that back to the league.
Are you kidding me?
It's the most ludicrous thing I've ever heard.
You mentioned the players. Seemingly every day there's a new one that comes out. It says, I'm going overseas to play. Of course, the big names were Kevin Durant recently. There was Kobe Bryant before. There's Deron Williams. Now Carlos Boozer says he's going to go over and play. I guess two brief questions about this. One is your opinion about them going over. I'll give you mine. Of course I'd go. I want to play basketball. I want to keep my skills going, and I want to make some money while I'm not going to get paid by my employer. But what should the league do? Should the league get involved and, again, sanction something with these guys playing? Can they, if there's going to be a lockout?
No, I think that the players are doing this to give the Players Association a little better ground and give them better power so that they can say, okay, our players can hold out. Because what happened last time they were negotiating a collective bargaining agreement was the owners outlasted the players, and the agreement was largely what the owners wanted, which makes this whole thing now a joke because they're saying that it's broken, and really the owners got what they wanted last time, so what they created is broken. But this gives the players the ability to hold out a little bit longer. The problem is I don't think there's room for a majority of NBA players to move overseas and play. I don't think the teams have the money. They don't necessarily have the roster room. The conditions over there for a lot of those teams are completely different. I was reading something this morning about how expensive the insurance is, because if players choose to go play overseas, they forego their NBA insurance, and that it can be as much as $1 million to get them insured. I just don't know how many of them can make this work. So I don't think it's a good long-term strategy in terms of trying to hold out during these negotiations.